welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How's your day going?
The day is going good.
All right.
Life is good.
All right. So here today, let's get into the topic today. So here we are going to discuss the few things about the friendships, right? And I know he's gonna put some salt into the wounds of some people who had some bitter experience
Yeah.
within their life. And of course, I agree. Some people have those kind of bitter experiences, and of course, we have too. So why not discuss this topic today? So I'm going to ask you a few questions about
Go ahead.
friendship, and tell me what you think about it.
Please.
All right. Here comes my first question for you. We are literally living through what scientists are now calling a friendship recession. People have half the close friends they had in their 90s. So, how did we get here? And why is nobody talking about this?
When I was in school, you were a few years junior to me. One of our teachers, he gave us an essay, a written essay, and he said, just remember it for your exams. And so we did. It was about the best friend, my best friend. That is perhaps the most famous English essay of our times. Like every student knew that. So the first paragraph went exactly like I still remember. Man is social by nature. He cannot live alone. He needs companions to live his life. So the best companions are called his friends. Of course, every companion is not a friend. You have colleagues, you have people you know, but not necessarily friends. As far as your question is concerned, which is about the people having half the number of good friends or close friends as they used to have in their 90s, that's very true. One of the things being why we need friend, because man cannot live alone. Now even a person who is not living alone without without friends, if somebody is living, even he is not alone, he has a lot of other things to look at. Like now we have OTT platforms, we have YouTube, social media. You never feel alone, actually. On the face of it, I'll say, in your subconscious you are a very lonely man, but you never think that way. A few days back, I was talking to a psychologist. She is a very good friend, and she said you should start spending time with your own self for some time at least. And I told her that most of the time I'm not with my friends or with my family, I'm spending time with myself. Then she asked me, what exactly do you do in that time? And I told her I'm either on the laptop or I'm going through reels or content on my phone. And she said, exactly. What was the last time that you were doing nothing? Nothing at all, staring at the wall. I said, I don't even remember. And she went like, that is when you spend time with yourself. You just stare at a wall. You just think in your head without any gadget in your hand. Perhaps not even a pen and paper to write it down. Spending time with our own selves is a very easy and a very difficult thing to do because we are not made to live alone. We are made to live in tribes, in groups. We cannot live alone. We have invented new materials or gadgets that make our minds somehow believe in a foolish way that we have a lot of friends while we don't actually have them. I know people who have like hundreds and thousands of followers on their Instagram, on their social media generally, TikTok, Facebook, whatsoever. When they passed away, there were hardly 10 or 20 people on their funeral. You
Do
know,
you, sorry to interrupt, do you think this is sad? This is the real thing a man should prepare, or the people behind him should be ready to face this fact that, look, you have 20,000 followers, but on your funeral, only 20 will show up. So, of course, the man is gone now. So, it becomes a sad thing for the people who are behind him, let's say his family. They are the one who will face the realistic situation.
I understand that. The thing is, if a guy thinks he has 20,000 friends and at his funeral only 20 show up, I don't care what side you light it up or you how you talk about it. In any manner, for me, it's very sad. It is sad. I won't expect 20,000 people to show up that day, but if any number less than 10,000 is showing up, that's very painful and very sad for me. They say there are only three important times in the life:
Yeah.
when we are born, when we fall in love, and when we die. See, if I have a good friend and he shows up at the funeral of someone I from my family or someone who I truly loved, they are there for me, to show me, like, not actually maybe sometimes they are not there uh, for the love of their friend, but sometimes it's only a gesture of telling them, okay, we are showing up to give you support, or at least because you should think that we are here, even if they don't mean it. Sometimes it happens that to avoid that later social pressure, we happen to show up. But if a friend dies, you don't go for anyone else. You go purely for that guy who passed away.
Because he
Not
was your friend.
Yeah, not for his family, not for anybody else. And that's a very important point. I'm sorry that I am starting this podcast with a very sad thing, but this is sad. Yes, friendship in these days, it's really sad. People would do friendship with you on their own terms, like having that idea of rich friends. You might be familiar with that idea, having rich friends. When you have rich friends, like, of course you and me have, we have rich friends.
Okay. Yeah.
We are their friends. They are not our friends into true meaning. They would be our friends only to the limit that suits them, only to the point where they don't have to put any effort. We'll put efforts for that. They won't put effort for, and we'll, in our mind, will definitely be going like, it's all right. He's my friend, and he's like that. No, look at them when they are sitting with the people more successful than them. That is not the situation. They are behaving with them the same way we are behaving with them. So that's a sad thing to do. That's a sad thing to be. People, especially rich friends. I'm sorry, I brought up another idea of rich friends. Rich friends know how to deal the other guy, but the other guy would never understand the dynamics. That's very sad again. So yes, a few development that have happened in few decades, they are really painful in terms of friendship.
Understood. That's a very clear point. Okay, let me bring this thing. When you talk about rich friends, and at the same time put in your thought process that the cultural background or the people we know they come from ABC background and then they make it to the level of being rich or being successful. Okay, now consider the situation. So if they are from a culture where they think being rich is the ultimate goal. Number two scenario is being they come from a culture or a background where being rich was the thing which was considered normal. So both of these scenarios, okay, considered in mind, do these rich friends behave the same with other guys? Like we came from the rich background and who just became rich.
Yeah, yeah. See, old money is always different. That is right. Old money is always different, and new money is different. Sometimes people with old money behave very rudely, and but that is an exception. And sometimes the people with new money, they also go very polite. They go really good, very grounded, humbled. But again, that's an exception. Generally, it is the other way around. People with old money, they usually have a better approach towards the relationship, but the people with new money, they They weigh the relationships with money or gold. That's where the problem is. Uh, I'll give you an example of. Okay, before giving that example, let me clarify it. What do you mean by being rich? There are two things in being rich. One is having money, and the other thing is having status. Okay, let me take the name of some very credible personality. Let's take the name of Nawabzada Nasrullah Khan. He was a very, very
Politician.
decent,
Yeah, yeah.
decent, and very classy, and a politician with an outstanding class. I mean, he was Nawab and he behaved like one, like a very decent man. Even if a sweeper would go to him, he would greet him in the same way that he would greet a president, which is very rare trait in Pakistan. If I become rich and Nawab Nasrullah Khan or his family is short on money or they lose everything, I still cannot be a Nawab because that trait that is running in the family that hardly goes away. Exceptions are there, but yes, I've seen that traits move in families. They move in tribes. Now that doesn't matter. So those guys, like I'll say, the family of Nawab Zada Nasrullah Khan, because I know them personally, they are all very grounded, very humble people. They might lose everything. They might have no money. They'll still be rich because they have a rich class. I'm talking about the internal class, the the mental class. I'll say.
Can we say it as DNA?
Sorry,
DNA?
DNA. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can call it DNA. Yes, of course you can call it. On the other side, you know what happens is when you get new money, sometimes you feel you tend to tell the people with old money that you are more than them. So that's what makes the things stink, I'll say. And that's where the problems have. Such friends coming from the new money can be a major problem. Now I'll tell you another thing. In my case, all the guys with new money, they're very different kind of friends. Of course, if I start telling them on their face that you are a bad friend, they won't agree to me. Why? Because even the worst person in the world never thought he was the worst man in the world. He always thought that deep inside, the people don't understand him, that he's a very decent guy. He's a very good guy. Even the worst man in the world thinks that way. So there is no point of telling them these things. Yes. Then, okay, the question is why we are with them. The reason or the answer to that why would be very sad again. That sadness come from what options do we have if we don't have them?
Yeah.
What are the other options? Going to hunt for new friends, because in today's world, if you want new friends, you have to go hunting for them, for good ones. So yes, as long as we don't have those things that come up to the mark, let's deal with what we have right now.
So here is a question for you. The next one. Are you ready?
I've always been ready.
Good man. You're a good man. All right. Gen Z
Yeah.
spends 70% less time with friends in person than young people did in 2003. That is a fact from the Google. You can do it. So, are we the most connected generation in history? Are we the loneliest? Are we the lonely?
No, we are not lonely, because even in our times when we used to have a lot of friends, because we didn't have gadgets or we don't didn't have things to distract us from the friendship. Friendship was the only thing that we could look up to. Now people have a lot of things to look up to, which I don't find sad. I'll find it sad only if one doesn't have a single friend. If you have one good friend, that should be enough. But yes, our generation in these terms, in terms of connectivity with the people, with our friends, we have been really blessed. But I won't say that we have been the most blessed or the best generation in these terms. Maybe the generations before us. and before them, ever since the world is there. I think as the time passes in terms of friendship, the condition deteriorates, it falls down. You know why? Because okay, tell me one thing. We have been on Earth for less time. Monkeys have been here, if we agree with the science. Monkeys have been on planet Earth for more time than the humans. Is that right? In
Correct.
terms of science.
Agreed.
Okay. Why didn't they invent airplane till now? Why did we do it? What is perhaps the only difference?
Because we were better designed and we were better communicated with the other people. Like, let's say you know few things, I know few things, and we were in communication and we were in more better understanding than those monkey and apes.
That's absolutely right, actually. The only difference is transferring the knowledge. Humans, as we know it today, are the only species in the universe, as we know it, who can transfer, share, and combine their knowledges. If a monkey learns something and it tries to communicate to other monkeys, it might tell one or two, it cannot tell them all. If the other monkey learns from the first monkey, it cannot add anything to it, or it cannot add something to it that he already knew. They cannot combine two things. Maybe they can combine two things. Yes, that is possible. But then they won't be able to combine 100 things. That is impossible for them. Transferring the knowledge is the only difference that makes humans a different species. But again, it every every blessing has a dark side as well. The same thing is making this friendship, or the loyalty as we call it, it is making it go down. How? As the time is passing, as every generation is passing, we are passing our knowledge to the next generation. They are adding to it. Every time knowledge is added, somehow the feelings go down. What I believe is, more the rational or more the knowledge, more the inventions, more the machines, lesser the emotions, lesser the friendships, lesser the loyalty. Again, that is a sad thing, no matter what side you take it from. That is a sad thing. Humans are becoming sadder every day. They're becoming lonelier every day
Yeah.
because of this knowledge and inventions. Again, I'm not saying that these knowledge things or inventions shouldn't be there. They're very necessary for our advancement. All I am saying that there is a there is a there is a gap. We have a police department, we have an army, we have an atomic energy department, we have finance department. We don't have a humanity department. And in case that is there, that is only to give a good look to the whole setup. That is not doing what it is supposed to be doing.
That's
I
not
think
100% functional. Like,
yes, that
it's
is
not going to support any cars.
exactly. So uh, again, I'm the happiness director of a company. The company never took me seriously. They think it's something that is being paid for no reason at all. So uh, yeah, this is how
Okay,
what it's going.
look into this perspective. Of course, you have traveled to many countries. When you travel to, let's say, Pakistan, you are able to meet your friend just one call away. You call them. You say, okay, let's meet in this thing, let's meet on a coffee and blah, blah. And there's no formalities and there is just a casual friendship because you are okay to do this way. It's considered very normal, right?
Yeah.
But when you go to other countries where the hype is real and where, people are going after the um, heavy life burdens, where they are going after chasing their success stories, finances and blah, blah, blah. As you move along the line, you come up with the very different situations. In Dubai, still you are able to meet friends, all right, on a call, but that need to be scheduled. That you need to pick up the place, which we should be mutually agreed, and then you are able to meet on a certain date, certain place. That's how it goes in Dubai. But when you go to Western countries, or the UK or US, of course, you have the experience with that. Lately, the time goes by months and months, and you're not able to catch up with your friends. The same style as you catch up in Pakistan, you're not able to meet your friend in UK or the US or Western countries because there is a very, hustle. There is a very situations like we don't understand their personal things. So what happens in Pakistan in minutes or in the hours, that happens in the UK in months. Let's say meeting the friends.
Yeah.
So why does the cultural shift is dominating the friendship sector? Why we're not able to meet our friends, so randomly as we meet in Pakistan? And Pakistan is a happy country, I think so.
Pakistan is a very happy country. That's what I was going to say actually. That you know what makes a country a good country or a bad country? Their happiness index. Which country has the highest happiness index? I think it's maybe Iceland, or I'm not sure which
Yeah,
country.
same Norwegian countries,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I think that's not the right thing to say that they are the happiest country. Their happiness index is based on a lot of things,
Yeah.
like economy, their health benefits, their education. I think that might be a very general approach to measure happiness. Again, if you measure happiness on different parameters, like we keep a happiness scale of education and a happiness scale of access to health, access to justice, then there should be another parameter of access to your friends, which I think is not potentially included in these surveys that make up this result and declare the happiness index of a country. Pakistan, yes. If we talk about Pakistan, people are very much connected there, especially the people from our generation. They are very much connected. They don't need appointments to meet each other. And I somehow also believe that the time when you when you start to feel the need of having a reason to meet a friend, that's where the essence is missing. You should not be looking for a reason to meet a friend. You just want to meet them, that's a good reason. Yes, scheduling is another thing. Everyone has bills to pay. If a friend of yours is in his office or he cannot take leave for like months and he doesn't meet up with you for months, you should be understanding this particular thing. I have such friends, and I'm sure you also have such friends, who would call you after 3 years, and we come back on the call exactly from where we last dropped. That happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no difference
Yeah.
because some people are connected with souls. When I mean, especially in our generation believes that the real friends are friends from school, then college, and then from university. But the best friends are those that you made in school. Why is that? Because when we were friends with them, uh, okay. So I used to go to a government school. Teachers were very nice, but it was a very basic school with very basic facilities. Eh, In that class, uh, we had 60 or 70 students. There used to be only one magistrate in the whole city, and he was my father. I was in that class. I would I would My class fellows would beat me up every other day. Like in terms of that social status, I was perhaps at the highest pedestal, but that neither ever came into my head nor in the head of my classmates that he's son of a magistrate. They didn't care, and I didn't even know that I had to care about it.
Right.
So that was those were the purest times. We were friends for no reason at all. We were just friends. That was a blessing. Now, why are we friends? There are few friends of us that if I tell them you're friends with a certain rich man because he's a developer, he will never agree. He will never say, yes, you're right. But this is what it is. Why? Okay, so there is a childhood friend of mine. Now he has someone that he is available for more than he's available for me, which is fine. That is totally his right. I'm not saying we should do anything about it, but we should be clear about the things. When you start looking for friends based on your benefits, that's not friendship anymore. That is something else. And you cannot confuse relationships with financial relationship with friendship. So that's it.
Here is the good question.
I'm sure it must be.
There is now a company
Hmm.
selling an AI best friend for 129 British pounds that you wear around your neck and never cancels plans. Right? Is that the future of friendship? Or that is the saddest thing you have ever heard?
One thing I'll say,
129 pounds.
yeah, I'll
Yeah,
say
you can buy a friend.
a very good friend for 129 pounds a month is a very good deal. Go for it. I'll say go for it.
Let's cancel all the friendships. Let's buy that one.
Yeah.
And it's an AI. I think that AI is the most smartest of among all our friends.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And you can ask that friend anything that you want. He will give you a very good
Yeah, such
suggestion.
knowledge, and
Yeah.
from there we can
All
pick
that.
up the brains.
What are humans looking for? Humans are never looking for perfection. They're always looking for imperfections. They're always looking for flaws. And understanding those flaws, making peace with them, still accepting the person, that's called friendship. In our times, because AI is a very new thing, I'm sure that people would be offended with these AI friends because they are too perfect. But as soon as they start learning that humans like imperfections, they would start becoming those imperfect things and on purpose so that people could connect more. Maybe they somehow at some point of the time reach at such point that they sound exactly like humans, but they will again be that one some little fractional thing missing that will keep people separate from AI. AI, of course, can never be the substitute of a real friend. It can be a very good friend, yes. I'm not against being friends with AI. You in today's time, you must be a friend with AI. I'm just saying that giving up on your human friends would be a very sad thing to do. Having an AI best friend around you, like that is not sad. What I think, like you have to always have a friend who you can connect to for any knowledge or for any task. That's a very good thing, but that shouldn't be the only thing. Only this thing is not sad that one has an AI friend. If he has an AI friend, but he doesn't have any human friends, I won't say real friends. AI friend is also a real friend, but I'm saying human friends. If he doesn't have human friends, that is sad. Yes, that is sad.
Okay. So as we are talking about the AI, so let's consider this scenario. So we are in a certain age group, and there are people who are, let's say, 40 to 60s, and then there are people who are from 60s to 80s, right? I'm sure we are okay with until 40s, we are okay with having the AI friends. But do you think like people after, let's say, 40s or 50s, will they be comfortable? having a friend which you wear around your neck. How does this idea works?
Maybe
For
they're
them.
okay. So for them, maybe they are comfortable because we have never been to the shoes of those people, and now that we are approaching the age of 40, maybe now it's impossible for us to step into those shoes because these are going to be the generations that never had a real friend. You and me, we have had friends, of course. We cannot step into those shoes. We cannot even relate to them. But again, I'll say that yes, the idea itself is very sad. The idea itself is very sad. If someone didn't have a friend since he was born, I think yes, even at the age of 60 or 80, he will be fine without friends. But the people who have had that joy of having real friends, having those imperfect, stupid friends, that's going to be a thing larger than life, and that cannot be replaced.